Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. Today we're going over the MCU Marvel Legends series figures from the Captain America First Avenger movie. Hydra Soldier, Red Skull, Captain America himself, and Peggy Carter. Let's get to it. So here's the Hydra Soldier, or as the package says, Red Skull, because he's probably more marketable and popular. So this is actually an Army Builder Troop Pack, which is really great. It's just one guy with a bunch of heads and a weapon, an extra hand. That's fine. It works out really well. So let's go over this guy, shall we? So starting with the head, he comes with this little sort of helmet thing. I'm not sure really what it actually, is. It's just a helmet with some red eyes on it. We also have a helmet with black eyes on it, and a helmet with black eyes and a gas mask. So that's it. The articulation for all three is pretty similar, Head goes back, head goes forward down to the chest, swivels around. That's basically kind of it. This gear can move out and actually come off of the figure. I just need to find the point of detachment right there. So what you do is attach it right there and take that off. And then move this over. And then take off the head and shimmy it up the side a little bit. And now you have your, regular blank body with your Red Skull head you can put on. And that's basically if you can't get the SDCC version. This will have to do in a pinch. It works out fine. It's okay. It's not as good as the one in the movie, I think. But it works just okay. So taking this off, it's pretty simple. And putting this thing back on, I just forgot how. Again, trying to get all this stuff on this character is just sort of nuts. All these different parts and pieces and all the figures that have to go on. So getting that through there, going through this arm right there, putting it over that, and then shimmying that down there and clamping that piece right on, and that works fine. There's an extra belt underneath just in case you want to not use the gear, but the gear looks really good, so I'm going to keep it on. Got some nice silver over here, good silver on the back, gunmetal over here, gunmetal on the front. You got to kind of like work with the skirt to hide this, extra belt underneath there. Maybe shimmy it down a bit, and that works out just fine. The buttons are gold. Moving this around does change the alignment of the thing. So, yeah, having this part right here, you want to make it all straight. So that works out. That's fine. You have all these like red lines over here. They're painted pretty well. They look nice. Maybe some scuffage over here. A little bit of smudge right there. It's kind of a shame. But the red lines work out really nicely, I guess. They look fine. Swivel at the top. And then, a little bit of pivot, I guess, and a little bit of swiveling at the bottom as well. If you hold it, you can get some swivel up top on the chest too. It goes up this far, down this far, all the way around. Swivel over here. Double jointed elbows right here. Goes down, swivel here, up and down with the wrist. Looks really nice. The gloves look pretty good. They have some sort of like just patterning, a couple 3 lines here and there. More lines over there, and he comes with an extra hand that can hold a gun or a tesseract if you have an extra or a spare. Got to reline that, torso joint and reline all those belts and everything. And this is a very finicky figure. You might just want to keep him as is in sort of a stock holding the gun pose. His legs go out this far really well, go up this far, pretty okay. Back, not so much. Knee goes up this far, down, swivel. And then no boot swivel. They could have had a boot swivel. I don't know. The boots are way too high, though. That's kind of stupid. You should go down here and then have a cuff so it can go around, but I guess they didn't want to pay for that. It goes down, up, and pivot, and 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet. All the info is on the inside of the thigh of the figure. It's kind of a shame and a bummer. It's a good figure. Not really that great. It has a couple issues and problems, but once you get it into position and into place, it looks pretty fine. As far as the gun goes, it's your sort of standard Hydra issue weapon. You don't really know what it does. It's probably tesseract powered or something. It has something over here, like a kind of like power source battery, I guess. Has a little another pack over here and the butt right here, along with 2 handles right over here. So you could put one here, and just sort of shimmy that, finger in there. Doesn't really want to go as well as it probably should. I think the trigger is kind of mismolded on not this gun, but I think all the guns, because I had a hard time getting the trigger finger inside the gun. It didn't really want to work that well for me. moving his hand up and moving his elbow up over there, and you can easily just slot that in there. And that's fine, I guess. It works out for a good Hydra Trooper guy, or Red Skull if you want, or different kind of troopers if you like, shock troopers and everything. Yeah, this is a pretty okay figure as long as you have it in one single pose and keep it that way for the rest of time. Works out fine by me. Yeah, Hydra Soldier is pretty good, but not great. Hydra Soldier stands at about 6¼ inches tall. Here's Hydra Soldier next to your generic Tony Stark suited body and Jesse Heck Creative. Yeah, that's right, Private. I've been your commanding officer all along. Now I order you to make me a sandwich. With extra pickles. Pickles of evil! So here's Red Skull. He looks great. I love this figure a lot. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one that came with the Tesseract, and I just got this figure a la carte along with the box and the Tesseract. The little one, at least. Not the big glowy one. I don't even have a need for that. So let's go over this guy real quick and see what he is like. That's a lot of gray. Wow. There's no shading at all except for his head. I think this is a different version of the head. There's two ones, and one of them is a little bit sort of deeper red, and one is a little more lighter red. I like the lighter red ones that came with the figures, the Hydra Trooper guys. So yeah, I stuck to that one, and it looks really nice. I like all the different, sort of just colorings on it. I like the shading, looks really good. The wash is very nice. The eyes are kind of creepy. The likeness is interesting because you can't really tell that it's Hugo Weaving under there. It's more Red Skull than Hugo Weaving, which actually works out in its favor. I think his likeness rights are tied up in the Matrix or something. So yeah, it looks great for him. And the ears are really weird and sort of sunken in. That's pretty cool. As far as the body goes, it's very just plain old, Hydra SS officer type of deal kind of thing. It works out pretty nicely. It reuses a lot of stuff from the Hydra Soldier, so let's go over this real quick. The head goes down and up, on a stiff joint. Goes left and right, not too much pivot at all. Goes up on the arm, down, up on the arm, down. Hydra sigil right here. Looks pretty cool on that. Has sort of flat, swivel right over here. Not cupped. That's kind of a shame. Looks kind of dumb to me. I'm sorry. Just kind of stupid. Goes up this far, down that far, swivel on this hand, and up and down pretty well on that. This is the Tesseract clutching hand, or the I'm going to kill you hand. At least it doesn't really hold the Tesseract all that well. Well, now as I said that, I put it in the correct way, but you can put it in at any sort of angle, and with gravity it will hold. The Tesseract itself is a nice little, cube. It's blue. There's a couple, printing, I guess, mishaps right over here. Some issues with the mold, I would think, so that's a bummer. But you put it on its bottom and it's fine, and it works that way. A little far away you can't really see what's going on with it, but up close you can. But just put in his hand, it's fine. It works out. It's a Tesseract. It's a little cube, whatever. This hand swivels around, and also down and up. It's a punching fist. A fist for punching. Yeah, that's fine. Swivel up here. Up and down all the way around, ball joint. And this one, swivel all the way down there as well at the hip. This is a separate piece. You can kind of move it up and down. I move it up just so it hits the articulation point and kind of keeps it all, snug inside. We also have the legs that go out kind of far and pretty okay up. And this is the same articulation we saw with the Hydra Soldier guy. He can do a kick, I guess, so he can join the Rockets if he wants. Goes down and up and swivel, and two pegos on the feet. As far as the knee goes, the same exact knee as the other guy, the Hydra Soldier guy. It's a fair knee. It's all right. You don't really see him doing all that many kicks and stuff in the film unless it's the final battle. But all you see him is doing around and ordering his troops and trying to strangle them with an inch of their life, or just wanting the Tesseract all for himself and holding it and disappearing in a flash of lightning or whatever. But yeah, overall, it's a nice figure. Kind of bad articulation, but I like Red Skull, so he stays. He was actually pretty cool in the movie, and I like Hugo Weaving a lot. So yeah, that's Red Skull for you. Basically, very simple figure. Couple stripes of red on the sides. This belt buckle's pretty cool with the Hydra symbol there. This kind of runs a little low, so you want to push it up. But yeah, the Hydra sigil looks nice too. He looks a pretty nice figure. Articulation needs a lot to be desired, though, and he could be a little bit better in some aspects. Red Skull stands at about 6¼ inches tall. Here's Red Skull next to generic Tony Stark suited body. They look pretty good together. And also here's Jesse Heck Creative. Alright, sir, I taught all the scouts how to set up their tents, how to use map and compass, and how to tie all their knots. So, do I get my merit badge now? What do you mean this isn't scout camp? What do you mean this is the 1940s? What do you mean we're in World War II? You don't even know what that is yet! Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. So here's Steve Rogers, Captain America, or at least, the sort of army version that we see before he becomes fully Captain America and embraces that uniform. So, this is a really cool character because it kind of ties into that G.I. Joe feel, and I kind of like it a lot. A lot of people use this body for General Hawk, or at least kit bashes and customs, so that's pretty nice to see. This is a really good figure, actually. There's a lot of good paint, a lot of good sculpt, has a little bit of sort of weathering here. That's really nice. Man, it's a really good figure. I mean, there's very little weathering as far as I'm concerned, but I take it over nothing. So, yeah, this guy looks really great. The face is a nice sculpt as far as the sort of, less, buff Steve Rogers would go, at least, when he's in that suit, I guess. Kind of before Captain America. It kind of evokes that pre-Captain America look to him. It's really nice. His eyes are super green, which is kind of weird. Almost like he's been, under some spell or Hulk serum or whatever. It's just kind of awkward to see those really green eyes. His hair looks pretty nice, kind of muddy, kind of weird. His lips look fine, I guess, as far as, the paint goes for that. So, there's that. The paint over here is kind of weird for his star, and I get it. It's just a little blorp of paint, but they could have done a little bit better on that. And, it kind of bugs me a little bit. This paint over here for the weathering is really nice, though. It looks really good. The tan for the pants is varied. We have some sort of more brownish tan. Then we have this kind of yellowy tan down here. The sculpt is actually really nice. A lot of really good, at least sculpt work over here as far as that goes, with the wrinkles in his pants, in his, leather, and also the boots has some stitching on them on the side to kind of stitch them all up. That's pretty cool. Nice little touches and details. That's really neat. I like this a lot. The pads over here for the knees look really good. This little sort of web gear, I would guess, looks really cool as well. The back is kind of boring and bland, but what action figure isn't? It's kind of a bummer how they focus on the front and nothing on the back. It'd be nice if they focus more on the back for some characters at least. He even has little sort of pockets in the back. It's really nice. He has pockets on the sides, pouches and whatnot. That's really cool. He has a little pouch over here that says US. That works out really well. It's very leathery looking. Even you could put a little gun in there. There's also a knife holster down here, little sheath. You could put some knives in there and whatever. The gloves look really good and they're fine, I guess. And yeah, this figure looks really great. But how does it articulate? So we have the up on the head right here, and then down on the head right there. Swivel all the way around. Some pretty okay tilt. Up over here, down, swivel all the way around, swivel at the bicep, double joint elbow is pretty alright. We also have a swivel over here, down and up on this arm, and then down and up on this hand at least for the hands. We have two trigger finger hands. One's a little more open because I've been holding a large gun in there for quite some time. Goes up this far, down that far, up this far, back that far. Not really that great. Pretty okay on this joint right there for the knees. Swivel at the top, swivel at the boot, down and up, and then pivot, and two peg holes on the feet with some great treads. Wow! That's a lot of effort. Why? Why would you put so much effort in the bottom of the feet? Put more effort in the back of the figure. Ugh, it bugs me. There's a lot of nice sort of, actually it's textured. So that's okay. I'll give him that. So I almost forgot the body articulation. We have a sort of chest pivot, ball joint right up here. Goes back really far, forward really far. Looks really nice. We also have a swivel at the waist. It's pretty good articulation for his chest, and actually really nice for these figures. As far as accessories go for this guy, moving him back to the back, here comes this gun right over here. That's pretty cool. It's standard issue, not really that silvery or shiny. Works out pretty well. Has these little nubbins right over there that puts a nice touch into it. Looks pretty old, very good. This little pistol right here is nice. It has some brown on the bottom, has some silverish kind of stuff right over here, and it fits right in the holster right there. You're just going to move his arm out, put the gun in the holster, and then snap it down, and it works pretty fine. My gripe with this figure comes down to the knife, though. It's worse for wear. Do your knives in silver, guys, or at least have a little peg going into that. It looks good on one side, but not on the other, where it came out of. The handle looks fine to me. It's two-toned, looks pretty cool. You put it in the sheath like so. It's kind of rubbery and kind of like really flimsy, It's almost gonna be like a joke knife, Stab, stab, stab. Oh, this is my joke knife. Bang. Anyways, putting that in there, it fits really nice and snug, as does the pistol. This gun right here also fits into his hand. Get the trigger finger right there. At least, yeah, it fits pretty well. It fits all right. It's a little bit wobbly because, again, I've been having this be held for a long time, so don't expect it to really work like a charm. So there's that. Putting the gun sort of aside, we have this shield right here on the back, your standard like holes and hoops for the grip, and then in the front, looks very dirty. Looks really dirty. You could use a wash and a cleanup. There's a better shield out there that I really like that I'm using with a different Captain America. So yeah, there's your shield. Looks pretty good as far as it goes. I like the blue. The red is really nice. I just don't like all this dirt. I wish there was a clean version. That's a shame. You could put it into his hand, have his hand go through, and then push all the way through, and keep pushing and scooching that thing down until he kind of holds it, I guess. And that's the extent of it. He doesn't really hold on to it or hang on to it. It just goes through his arm, in a way. Yeah, that's kind of it. This is kind of a weak grip, too, on this. It's kind of a shame. This doesn't really want to work as well. Last but not least, his helmet with goggles, with a little A right there. It looks pretty cool. It's very pliable, You get this little strap going down there, and another sort of buckle strap that is sort of like intentionally broken. Putting on his head, it looks kind of big for him. So yeah, that's Captain America, the soldier. Not the Winter Soldier yet, but Captain America, the soldier. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Good articulation, great paint, great sculpt. But yeah, the articulation just good, I guess. Accessories are alright too. They're nice, 50-50. Captain America stands at about 6.5 inches tall. Man, war must be tough with you having to wipe with this thing and all. So here's Peggy Carter. She actually looks really great. I love the likeness in this figure a lot. It looks super good. The actress's likeness is really wonderful. It's really wonderful. I think it's Haley Atwell. Great job, Hasbro. Looks really good. That stern, sort of militaristic face, Super well done. Very well done. The blush is really nice. The paint on the lips is really good. The eyes are pitch perfect. The hair is the best part, I think. That looks super good. That hair looks really, really nice. So good job, Hasbro, on that. The body, pretty cool as well. Works for some kind of militaristic officer. I've seen people actually using this, taking off the head for like a, Baroness as the spy from, G.I. Joe. So that's pretty cool. She has this nice tie and thing, over here. She also has some nice sort of like badges and whatnot right there. Some epaulets, I believe. A nice belt. Not really painted. Kind of a shame. The gold print is really good on here. Very subtle. Very neat. Sort of hidden almost. The skirt is pretty good. Doesn't really have too much of a crease going on. You could have cut down here. I don't know why they cut. Maybe it's a mistake on mine, but this could have had a cut right there. There's even markings for it. That's kind of weird. The stockings are like the run on the stockings, or at least the middles of them, are look really good on that. That's pretty interesting how that works out with the stockings. Pretty neat and very accurate, I believe. The high heels are good. They're pretty cool. She can stand actually quite well in them. Just put her up and well, now it's defying me for some reason, but there we go. Yeah, she stands pretty all right. So long as you don't mess up the surface. So her figure, she has a trigger holding hand also. She can hold a gun as shown in the movie with the prototype shield. And just going over the shield real quick, it's a nice shield, a lot of marbling. It's just plain silver. It's Captain America's shield, you know, the generic ones we've all seen everywhere, and we will see throughout these reviews coming up. And it's nice, I guess. There's also a little sort of blemish right here, so that could be the place where she shot at and hit. Maybe, I don't know, it's vibranium. It shouldn't really have any, you know, striations in it, but whatever. You know, the straps are okay, they're fine. They fit on her, I think, better than any other character, at least, as far as this goes. She's going to move her hand down a little bit, and then put that on, and then put her hand, you know, to sort of like grab it and hold it, and that looks fine, I guess. Whatever. So for the review, we're just going to go over the articulation. So the head can't really go up that far because of the hair. It goes down, you know, really nice, pretty nice actually, down to the chest, you know, even farther even. Swivels all the way around, tiny bit of tilt and pivot for some attitude. Goes up this far, down this far, swivels all the way around, no swivel at the top, single jointed elbow, you know, it's fine, I guess, par for the course for female figures as of when this figure came out. Swivel up there, you know, the joint, it's okay. Swivel all the way around, up and down on this side, and up and down on this side. Very loose over here, pretty tight over here. A sort of like ball joint right over here, you know, swivel all the way around and back and forward, you know, as well as far as that goes. We also have, you know, not really much leg articulation itself. Goes back this far. It's a double jointed leg. You know, I think it's the same we've seen from any other character or figure. Doesn't really want to work as well as it probably should, but I digress. You know, it's just okay. The feet go swivel all the way around and down and up, and don't really pivot. They just swivel, and 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet. She's kind of hindered in articulation, but looks really nice, and I think has the best head sculpt out of this little batch of figures. So she looks great, but, you know, her standing is kind of okay. Yeah, her standing is just bad, I would think. I thought she could stand better, but I guess not. Yeah, she just looks really good, and, you know, sadly doesn't have the articulation to support. You have to really be really finicky with it, and I'm not even going to touch her anymore, just because it just, you know, she'll knock over at a slight breeze. She looks really good, though. Peggy Carter stands at about 5 3/4, almost 6 inches tall. Here's Peggy Carter next to Tony Stark, and they look good together, actually. The sort of civilian and, you know, military thing kind of reminds me of how Howard Stark was in the film with them all together. I love a Howard Stark figure, by the way. That'd be pretty cool to get. And also, here's Jesse Heck Creative. Can I get this in purple and orange, please? Thanks. Overall, a really nice crop of figures that actually come off the heels of the G.I. Joe June month. So I'm glad to go over something war-related again, at least in this capacity to compare. The figures look really kind of like Hydra and, you know, Cobra and, you know, Captain America's forces and the G.I. Joes. It's pretty interesting to have that parallel. So as far as the Hydra soldiers go, they're not really that much like Cobra as far as, you know, the coloration goes, but I can see the resemblance in that it's an evil organization of terrorists and another evil organization of terrorists. So going over the Hydra soldier figure, it looks really nice. I don't like the double belt thing, it's just kind of weird. I'd rather the belt be a separate piece, but I get that it has to be with the harness. The red is nice and kind of, you know, works well with the muted sort of drab kind of green color, and the boots being that tall just tie it all together, and they're kind of funny as well. The heads are really nice, having it be an army builder, and that single gun works out really well, as I've seen a lot of Hydra troopers in the film use it. Also, the Tesseract coming with Red Skull is a nice touch. Red Skull himself is really cool. I like how he looks. He looks exactly like in the film, yet the articulation is kind of suffering with both figures since they're on the same kind of mold. I really don't like also the weird cut on the bicep for both figures. That's kind of a shame. I feel like Red Skull could use a tiny bit more red to him, but I do like the big cloak at least, and it's a fine figure, but not the best for both of them. Captain America is actually really good. He harkens back to those G.I. Joes that I had, and a lot of kit bashes and customs can be used with that body, so that works out really well. This is him starting out as Captain America, and this is really interesting to see. The head sculpt is great for a younger, sort of like less, you know, grizzled Steve Rogers at least. The helmet is really cool. He comes with the glasses and stuff. That looks really nice. The gun is fine. The, you know, that big gun, it's okay. The pistol is, it's nice actually. It's a really good pistol. The knife is a problem though, as it does have a lot of wear and tear on it, and that's kind of a shame. The shield is really cool, and I wish it came with a less dirty version, but this one is, I guess, fine. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'd rather things be clean and we could dirty them up if we need to, or as we want to. Peggy, I think, is one of the better characters in this also. She has a lot of great sculpt, and she looks great, but her articulation really does suffer, as does her standing. The face sculpt is the best, I think, out of these 4 figures. Even the extra head sculpts here and there. And it's just wonderful. It's a great likeness of Haley Atwell, and it's really awesome. I'm really glad that, this figure exists. She's a great character in the movie, and, more female characters. Yes! I don't like her articulation, though. She can't really stand all that well, I guess. And the shield does have a lot of marbling in it that kind of takes away from it being vibranium and being sort of perfect. But it's good, at least, that we have that in our collection. So, as far as these figures go, they're pretty good. They're not the best or amazing, but they're a step up as far as, Marvel Legends go with the MCU and all the movies, coming out. This is Captain America, the First Avenger, and we'll see you next time on Jesse Heck Creative. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned!